Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Cooking Basics. Today we are making egusi finally. So what you see there is the grinded egusi, which I have done a video upon how I grind it to smooth, and we will be cooking it with mackerel fish. And this mackerel, I've also shown how I do my own fish broth. It's also in my channel, so head over to check it out. I'll probably put it in the description, the links to the description where you can watch it. So everything that I kind of want to use for this recipe are already in the broth, so I will not be putting a lot in the main cooking, which is the egusi cooking. Okay, so for those who do not know, egusi itself is a melon seed. So it's extracted, dried, peeled, and grinded. And if you watch the video on how I grind it, you see how it came to look like this with no grains and to a smooth texture. As if you don't grind it very well, you can still see some of the bits of the seeds. So what I have done here is in a heated up pot as well as a hob, I am just trying to, I'll say, declump or remove the clumps of the egusi to separate the clumps because it's a bit clingy. And if you don't do that, what usually happens is that it becomes it becomes to stick together when you cook it properly. So I exchange it with a whisk. This is pretty much optional. It's just that the whisk is easier and quicker to do. So you start this with a medium heat. What I'm doing is actually showing you the frying method to making egusi, and once you've done the separation, then you're ready to start cooking it. What you see me there is just adding some of the fish broth to ensure that it doesn't burn at the bottom, the egusi itself. When you're doing the frying method, just be careful before it burns. What you see me here is do is just take out the fish from the water that I cooked it with, because I'll be using that water to cook the egusi before adding the fish back in. Okay, so yeah, just make sure that your egusi do not burn. So you need to check it. One thing about egusi, if you're not careful, it burns quite quick, so you have to be on top of it. And I just exchanged what the broth with a cold water to get this type of consistency. Okay, and yeah, so what I would do is to let the egusi itself cook a little bit before adding the fish and everything else. So with that water that I added, this is how it came out. So keep stirring. One thing about egusi is that you have to be on top of it. You have to keep stirring, especially if you're using this frying method. And then what I did was simply add the fish broth, and that's the only liquid, or that's all the liquid that I'll be using for this recipe, because if you're not careful, it's just become watery a little bit. But egusi know how to bind together, and what you see me doing there is adding 2 spoons, like cooking spoons that I'm using. This cooking spoon I'm using of palm oil, okay, which gives it that type of color. I mean, if you want, you can use vegetable oil, but you wouldn't get that red rich color that egusi usually have, or the yellowiness of it that you see with egusi. So, and I added some onions and then stirred and let it cook for some time. Once it started bubbling up a little bit, I added other ingredients as well, which included Maggi and salt. Once again, keep stirring. Don't leave it to cook too much. One way to know that you're ready, or your egusi is ready, is when you have the oil separating a bit from the egusi itself or coming towards the top, and well incorporated, because the egusi itself know how just, I don't know, it becomes big and does its thing. I mean, this works if you do have a good egusi, to be honest. But one thing I can say is when making egusi, do not leave it to cook so long or else it just burn at the bottom. If you're using this frying method, there are other methods to cooking this egusi, but this is the best method I find. So at this point, it is done and I'm ready to start adding other ingredients. What I added there is some pepper. This is optional as well, but it's definitely a must though. I did add another secret ingredient of mine, which, and then I added crayfish, because these things really give it rich taste. Crayfish or even prawn, dry prawn, um, it gives it really nice taste. Okay, and yeah, that's pretty much the egusi in itself done. At this point, you can add back the fish or meat if you're using meat, but I like mackerel, so hence, see how it looks. That shows you your egusi is there, not one of those ones that clunks or clogs with each other, whichever word that is right to use. Okay, and then you add your vegetables. You must make sure that your egusi is cooked before you add your veg. So what I did is just add the fish so that it can cook with the egusi and also get the taste of the egusi, as well as the egusi get the taste of the fish. I love mackerel. Anyone that knows me know I love mackerel. I know many people can use different type of meat or fish. That's not necessarily how I cook. I like one fish or two fish. I mean, if I'm cooking fish, I like just sticking with fish. Sometimes I mix fish with meat, but not all the time. All right, that's the food in itself cooked, and I'll just allow you to watch the rest. What I added there is okazi. I love okazi in egusi actually. I love okazi with egusi, and I also added ogo, which is pumpkin leaf, and then yeah, okazi and ogo I believe I added. I'm not sure if I added spinach, but you can use any vegetable that you want to use. Using the vegetables are optional as well. You can literally have the food as it was before the veg was added. And to my secret ingredients, just in case you didn't know, what I didn't show you is that I used all-purpose seasoning. The reason why I do so, because the one I have, I love it with the egusi, and it actually adds a really richer taste to the whole recipe. This is optional, you don't have to do it, but I love adding it at the end. It just, if not at the end, towards the beginning, one of those times, it's really nice. Okay, what you see me add there is the pumpkin leaf, which is ugu. Okay, and I love it. Ugu gives also a really nice taste, really nice. The reason why I added the okazi first, because I feel like with the okazi it takes a bit more time to cook than the ugu itself. So, and considering it's dry, I soaked in water to refresh it. Just does that. That's just the reason. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and tune in until next time. We'll be showing you more recipes that you'll be able to cook for yourself. Okay, don't forget to look at my other videos to know all the steps that were followed to get this nice looking rich egusi soup. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.